What if I told you that one of the most famous symbols of France, well, isn't actually French? The croissant, buttery, flaky, iconic, sits proudly in French cafes all over the world. But behind that perfect crescent shape is a story filled with myths, misunderstandings, and media driven legends. So today, let's separate fact from fiction and uncover where the croissant really comes from. Welcome to the cheese
Quand
side of the
j'étais
moon.
petite, je me taisais comme une fleur. J'adorais les mythes, mais tous ces mots m'en faisaient peur. J'adore mon poisson rouge, il m'apaise jour et nuit. Il tourne en rond pour moi, et je m'attais rien que pour lui.
Long before croissants filled Parisian bakeries, a similar pastry already existed. As early as the 13th century, bakers were making a crescent-shaped bread known as kipferl, the true ancestor of the modern croissant. To know more about kipferl, we have to take a trip all the way to Austria. The Kipferl was originally a local product in Austria. Its recipe was passed down orally from baker to baker, which meant there was no single correct way to make it. Everything changed when the pastry reached France in the 19th century and began appearing in cookbooks, newspapers, and also culinary publications. Once the recipe entered the media, it stopped being flexible knowledge and became documented information. Published recipes describe specific techniques, as like using butter instead of other fats, laminating the dough, repeating precise folds, and also achieving a light, flaky texture. As these instructions were repeated across different media, one version of the croissant became accepted as the authentic one. This shows a key media literacy concept. Media doesn't just share information, it also shapes standards. Not all recipes were treated equally. Recipes published by famous chefs or culinary schools were considered more reliable than local or undocumented versions, even if those worked just as well. Media literacy teaches us to question who controls the knowledge and why certain sources are seen as more trustworthy than others. As the croissant recipe spread through media, it was also simplified. Instructions were adapted to be easier to follow, more repeatable, and suitable for large audiences. This made the croissant accessible worldwide, but it also reduced the variety of techniques that once existed. A core idea of media literacy is understanding that when information is simplified to spread widely, some complexity is gonna be lost. The croissant wasn't only perfected in the kitchen, it was perfected through media. Its recipe became standardized because books, publications, and culinary authorities decided which version would be repeated. This shows that media literacy isn't just about news or social media, it's about recognizing how information, even a recipe, is shaped, shared, but most importantly, trusted.